Thanks for allowing us the opportunity to share today. My name is Steve Hailey. I'm with Network Innovations, and Network Innovations is a global company. We're on just about every continent now, and what we do is we solve customers' problems related to mission critical communications. My background is in mission critical communications, specifically push to talk. I'm actually a past paramedic and firefighter, and I've been on many disasters throughout the world, to include obviously 9/11 and everything in between. Most recently, supporting utilities. I went to Hurricane Dorian as part of the FirstNet team as a contractor to FirstNet, supporting Florida Power and Light. So I was there in Dorian. Setting up voice and data networks and cellular backhaul and things like that. So I'd like to get through this presentation. I want to share with you a little bit about MSAT, mobile satellite technologies, and what we do at Network Innovations, and kind of give you an idea of some of the products and services that are out there that can help you communicate safely and have a really strong backbone communication back to your operations center or wherever that, or your base of operations where you're at. So this is MSAT PTT. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but a lot of utilities use this. We are the airtime provider for MSAT PTT. It's mobile satellite solutions in cooperation with Legato. And what it is comprised of a very simple device, rooftop antenna, a deck unit that goes in your vehicle, and a handset. The handset, in addition to being a push to talk like a two-way radio over satellite, it also has a connectivity to the public switch telephone network. So you can make regular voice telephone calls off of it. And what's the beauty of the system that people use is that literally it's push to talk all throughout North America. And what we do is we can communicate unit to unit, and we can install units, like I said, at your base operations or in the field. So if you have multiple crews, which a lot of people do, you'll see you can just add on to and have multiple push to talk units, and they can talk with each other. Just kind of give you an idea. You can have, you can have your own. Even in public safety, they actually have what we call smart talk groups, and a lot of utilities actually, my understanding, actually have are a part of those smart smart talk groups, and work with local public safety, and they can communicate that way. Then we have MSAT PTT, and this is with SATRAD, or Matrix Radio Interop, for lineman safety. And I'm going to stay on this slide a second because I really want to show this. I think it's important. If you were talking on one of these terminals out in the field, and you have a deck, you could tie to your two-way radio in your vehicle. We call that a donor radio, if you will. And then you can have a lineman up on a pole somewhere or away from the vehicle, and they can talk with their handheld radio back to the donor radio, and then get muxed through this box, audio mixing, out over satellite, or MSAT satellite, back up to the satellite, and back down to your base station or into the public switch telephone network. So we can do man down, crew safety, tracking. We can track your vehicles and your people, and just kind of give you an idea of what's out there. Now I'm gonna switch gears a little bit and show you some of the other devices and things that are out there. These are some of the portable devices that we have, and let's see if I can close the screen here. Some of the portable devices we have portable Pelican case based MSAT terminals, And then we can also install them within a vehicle, like I showed you in the previous slide. And this is how that would be done. And then finally, there's also a new Iridium PTT or Iridium push to talk that's out there. It's more of a global type of product and service. But what's great about it is we also sell that and integrate those with two-way radio as well. So if you have both Iridium PTT and or SAT-RAD, we can SAT-RAD matrix, we can integrate and do both. So this slide kind of gives you an idea some of the newer technologies and ways we could do that. We could tie to in an MSAT talk group. We can actually bridge that over, and we can talk to push to talk over cellular portables and things of that nature. And then finally, just go one step even further and make it even more complicated. We can tie our MSAT G2 service also into ROIP or push to talk services over like your cell phone. So you don't necessarily have to actually have one of your terminals or a two-way radio. The idea here is that, you know, we want to be device agnostic and be able to bridge multiple technologies together in order to enable for you to communicate in your mission critical communication environment. And then finally, I'll show you, this is how we tie in our ROIP hub. We can actually tie the SAT-RAD G2 unit, and we tie them together to our Iridium PTT, and then we can communicate back and forth. So, and then finally, we have a converged ROIP hub in our Frederick, Maryland facility, in our data center. And no matter what your company or organization is using, whether it's MSAT G2, Iridium PTT, Cobalt Prism, or Talus, Certus, or any of these different technologies in your apps, we can actually bridge them all together on single talk group channels and bring that into play. So I know it's kind of a short presentation. I kind of went through it fast because I've got a lot of background noise. I apologize for that because I'm traveling, and but I felt it was important to show what kind of technologies we have available to support public safety and also utilities and in their mission critical communication requirements. So that's the brief of my presentation. I know it's somewhat short, but I'd really like to open it up to some questions and answers, and you know, more open discussion about what's out there, what isn't, FirstNet, things of that nature, because these are all things that are on the minds of different organizations that are involved in disaster recovery and disaster response. So I'll turn it back over to you, Randall.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve. A short but good presentation. And the question is, can you elaborate on how satellite-based PTT can be integrated into existing VHF radio communications on ROIP and FirstNet?
Oh, yes, that's a great question. So, you know, it's interesting, you know, mobile satellite push to talk's been around for a while, and also obviously so is you know, regular push to talk via VHF, UHF, HF. I know some utilities are even using that still, believe it or not, and which is great because it's all about communicating from one point to another in pretty austere environments without any infrastructure on the ground. How do we do it? It's not really any secret science, to be totally frank with you. But one of the things that we keep in mind, so one thing is we are a FirstNet integrator. We're a certified integrator. And one of the things that we do that's really important is we use a mobile gateway. When you tie VHF, I'll use VHF as an example. You tie a VHF radio to a satellite terminal, PTT terminal, it was almost as if the two-way radio system was made for each other because it's semi-duplex. So it's You press the button, push to talk, and you release it to listen. So it's pretty simple in that regard. However, we do have a box, a matrix box that we put in the middle. There are many different, radio gateways out there, but we put our own in there because we're experts in the satellite field. So what we do is we actually, when you transmit on that VHF radio that's tied to that matrix gateway, it actually waits and listens for the talk tone of the satellite in order to then wait for your message to go through. So that way, when you press on that two-way radio and it hits back to your truck, that that it's going to wait until the satellite is there and available for then it to send out. And we are the only ones in the industry doing that specific thing. So it's something that is unique. And then how do we also tie that in? We're coming up with some new products and services called our ROIP interop solution. You can look that on our website at networkinv.com. And what that does, that actually integrates FirstNet and regular LTE as well to MSAT or to Iridium PTT and to your VHF radio or UHF or anything. And what's even unique about that is we go one step further, that our products and services are looking towards the future. So we're trying to follow the 3GPP industry standard for not only P25, but DMR and things like that. It's a digital standard of how people are going to do interoperability on radios in the future. And we are very well involved in making sure not only can we connect your radios today, but we can also connect to your radios in the future. So thank you.
Okay, great answer. Thank you very much.